There was a time when buying a home was fun. Interest rates were low, inventory was high, and buyers were having great success in finding investment opportunities or just opportunities that made sense for them for the foreseeable future. Then that time quickly came to an end. Interest rates went through the ceiling, inventory went through the floor, and now we have a buyer's market that I would define as chaos. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Matt Thomas with Baird & Warner Real Estate in Chicago. Today we're talking about the marketplace. I get asked maybe more than any other question in my business, how's the market? Honestly, these days, I only have one word that I can answer that with, and it's the market's chaotic. It is. It's very difficult for home buyers to find homes right now. They have to work harder than they thought. They have to move quicker than they thought. Generally speaking, they're going to pay over list price in most scenarios. It's not a particularly enjoyable experience, and it's one that's leaving people feeling a little dizzy, myself included. So let's talk about what to expect if you're buying a home in 2023. And this is a no bullshit video. I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm seeing with my clients every single day. We're not going to sugarcoat it. We're just going to talk about what it's like to actually buy a home right now. First and foremost, if you call me and say that you're looking to buy a home and you have not spoken with a lender, you're already starting out the gate at a disadvantage. This market moves rapidly. Rapidly really varies depending on the property. In some cases, that's hours. In some cases, they don't even make it to market. In some cases, it might be the first weekend or on a very long end, the first week or two on market. What I'm getting at is you don't have a lot of time. So if you see something you love and you don't have a pre-approval ready to actually go make an offer on it, chances are good that process could get started and leave you in the dust before you're even ready to make a bid. So do yourself a favor and, you hear people say, get your ducks in a row. Do that now. Call your real estate agent and come up with a strategy for your search. Call your lender and make sure that you have your pre-approval in hand so that you can make an offer. Those two steps alone will put you in the game. Now you're ready to go see properties, and you are going to have to be ready to see them quickly. It's one of those things where I have buyers say, hey, we're available on Thursday and it's Tuesday. That might work, or they might get 5 offers on Wednesday. So this needs to become a second job, and that probably sounds painful. Maybe sounds like something you don't want to do. Yeah, that's the reality of buying a home right now. You're going to have to sacrifice maybe your lunch breaks. You're going to have to leave work a few times to go see a home. You might have to rush through rush hour traffic in the morning or in the evening to try and make a showing work rather than waiting for the weekend when it's more convenient. That's how it is right now, because every minute you're not there looking at the property or making progress, somebody else is. And you don't know how many homes that person's lost out on. You don't know what their budget is. They might be aggressively pursuing the house that you want. This is sort of an early bird catches a worm situation. The earlier you get on a home, the more active you are, the more proactive you are in getting in front of the sellers, the better light you shine on yourself to stand out when inevitably that home gets multiple offers. And that's what's happening right now. Take the timeline out of it, whether it takes days, hours, sells before market. Most homes are seeing multiple offers when they're getting contracts. It's just how it is right now. If you think about a balanced market, there are 6 to 7 months inventory of homes, meaning if we stopped listing homes today, it would take 6 or 7 months to sell everything we have out. That's a good balanced market. Here in Chicago right now, most neighborhoods are between 1 to a high side 3 months of inventory. There are not enough homes to service even a diminished buyer pool. But what we have is a buyer pool who's been looking for, in some cases, a year plus, and they've been very frustrated with inventory. They're losing out on multiple offers. They're having to adjust their pricing down. This is a market where people are chomping at the bit to buy homes. There's just not enough homes to show them or sell them. So each home that comes on market, it's getting a lot of attention. I've been in multiple offer situations recently where optimistically, there are 3 to 5 offers, and I've seen some that have been accelerated to 20 offers plus. When there's 20 offers on a home, how much variance can you really make in what you're putting out there other than paying the most amount of money and closing when they want you to close? I mean, you lose all control in the negotiation when things get that competitive. And that's the reality of the market right now. You hear people talk about, oh, we couldn't compete, we didn't have cash, we couldn't just buy the home. There was a time where maybe that was a little bit overstated. They were probably able to compete. Maybe they just weren't competing well or not putting the right numbers out there. But in today's market, there are some scenarios where somebody's going to buy the deal. And you just don't have a shot if you're stuck with a mortgage or if you're working within traditional appraisal. It's the reality of it. So don't beat yourself up and don't take that out on your search, but do recognize it's a very real possibility that every home you look at will get multiple offers. Most of them will get bid up, and many of them will get bid out of your price range. You have to accept it and continue moving forward to build progress until you find the right opportunity where you can actually close. On the negotiation front, with multiple offers, throw most of the contract out the window. So buyers coming into this thinking, we're going to make offers and we're going to get 3% seller closing cost credits. Yeah, you're not. They're not interested in giving you credits because they have other people offering cash or 25% down on a loan with as is and no contingencies. The offers that are being made today are so attractive to sellers. Buyers are dumping so many of the things that make it difficult for a home to close that if you're the one adding those things in, you're going to lose. It's just the reality of it. I understand that you might want that protection. I understand that as is might make you uncomfortable. But these are certain terms that are becoming non-negotiable in many situations. If you want the home, it's as is. They don't care if you don't like that. I know that's rough, and I'm sorry to be the one to deliver it to you, but that's the reality you're going to see in the market right now. Sellers have the power, and that takes away buyers' ability to really craft some kind of deal that benefits them. You're going to lose a little bit to make that offer work because the sellers are in an advantageous position. There's really no two ways about it. So I think we would all be better off to accept early on, upfront, that you're going to make sacrifice along the way in buying your home. If you're not willing to do that, if you're not willing to recognize we might have to negotiate or we might have to make sacrifice, we might not get everything we want in this negotiation, this is probably not the right buyer market for you. You would be better served to wait until there's less competition, more inventory, and frankly, I don't know when that will be. Probably not this year, might not be next year, but that's a marketplace that would be more forgiving to somebody who is really focused on getting a great deal or negotiating heavily or having all kinds of contingencies as part of their deal. Once you find a home, if you get under contract, you survive the multiple offer situations, you work with a great agent to negotiate the hell out of it, and now you're there, you're under contract, you're moving towards inspection. This is another part that's getting very difficult these days because in a normal transaction, let's take all the competitors out, let's go back to a balanced market. Normally, inspection is a time where the buyer can review the home, see if there's any material defects, anything that's not working or up to standard, roll that to the sellers in the form of a request for repair or credit dollars. We move forward in an amicable way. Hopefully some things get fixed or some money is there to fix them. Everybody leaves, if not completely satisfied, not overly upset. It's a very amicable negotiation. Lately, inspection is a time where we're finding buyers are asking for everything under the sun, mainly because they overpaid up front and they're uncomfortable with it. So they're trying to backtrack out value in the inspection. And sellers have no interest in accepting pretty much any requests. They have multiple offers sitting, waiting to buy the home behind you. Why would they honor your request for dollars or repairs? They'll just go to the next offer if they don't like what you're saying. So this inspection period is getting really nasty. Buyers expect too much. Sellers are giving literally nothing in some situations. It can create serious problems. What I would say, if you're a buyer going into this, assume when you're buying a home, even if you don't sign as is, you're probably not going to get a lot of repairs or credit dollars as part of the inspection. Reasonable requests, things that are actually broken, things that they'd have to address with pretty much any party, yeah, you probably have a good leg to stand on. I was at an inspection recently. The fan in the bathroom didn't work. Our request was repair the fan in the bathroom, and they agreed. Yeah, it's a broken fan. It's not going to work for any buyer that comes through. Makes sense. If you're here asking them to service the HVAC or talking about loose outlets or chips and paint or, I don't know, things that are probably borderline inspection items anyway, you're going to lose. They'll move on. They'll just say no and move on. And if you're not willing to accept the fact you're not going to get those things, you're going to cancel that deal and you're going to keep going on to other properties who are probably going to treat you the same way in inspection. So accept it now. Unless it's a material defect, on a major scale or something they'd have to address with pretty much any buyer, you're probably not getting money for it, and it's probably not getting repaired. You're buying a used home, you get used stuff. Kind of how it goes. Bringing this video in for a landing, I think the last thing to take away, if you are active today, you're making investment or purchase decisions, be aware that you're probably extending the timeline to come out of this ahead. So let's back up. If you came to me in 2017, 2018, you said, Matt, I want to buy a condo in Lincoln Park, Chicago. How long will I have to hold that condo before I can at least make my money back when I go to sell? I'd say that's a great question. You probably are going to make roughly 2% appreciation a year if we're just using historical data for Lincoln Park. So you got to pay your agent fees to list a home. It's somewhere between 5 and 6%. You got to pay your closing costs. That's another 2.5, maybe on a very high side, 3%. So let's just say you need to clear about 8% appreciation to come out even on that sale after you bought it. At 2% appreciation a year, that's 4 years to get to 8. I would say holding your home for 3 to 5 years is a safe investment because you might get a little bit better appreciation, you might get a little bit worse, but 3 to 5 is a very safe range, right? Makes perfect sense. In this market, now that things have been overbid and we're having to deal with multiple offer situations, we're having semi-strange appraisal years, values have been kind of up and down. I can't confidently say that a 3 to 5 year span is enough time for you to make that money back. I think that you need to plan on a longer time of ownership, or at very least, you need to be watching for refi opportunities. Probably not now, but in the near future, if rates were to drop and they're no longer at 7, they're closer to 6, that creates a great opportunity for some of you who recently bought to refi and save a lot of money or take equity and do some things with it. But in the near future, chances of you selling with consistent growth like we had pre-pandemic, I think are probably low. I don't think prices are going to drop anytime soon. The inventory is too tight, but I also don't foresee some sort of rocket ship appreciation like we had through early COVID. And I certainly don't see interest rates going back as low as they were then. So it's fair to assume that your timeline of ownership before you can come out even or make profit is probably extended out a little bit. Things you can do to accelerate it or increase profit, improve your asset, right? If you add value, do the kitchen, do the bathroom, you can sell for more or at least appraise for more. You might be able to get more value out of the home. You can also look at things like renting your property, take cash flow rather than the value on paper and extend out the time frame, collect that cash flow, pay down the mortgage. You might come out way more ahead than you ever thought was possible. So there are always options, but if you're just buying something, holding it, and then asking me how long you have to hold it to sell it, I'd plan on longer than 5 years. I don't know what the next 5 years exactly are going to look like. I have no idea where inventory specifically is headed. We don't have a really good look on new construction right now. So I think it's fair to assume you'll need a longer than 5 year timeline. I hope this was helpful. If you're in the market right now and you haven't found a home, I'm happy to help you have more success, particularly if you're just using the apps to try and search. That's not a great way to do things these days. Or if you're thinking about getting involved in the marketplace, but feeling a little hesitant because the reality is it's probably going to suck a little bit. That's okay. Take a step back, accept the reality of the situation, and then make educated decisions like calling an agent like myself, calling a lender, get more information, get yourself ready so that you can compete in the marketplace. That's all you can do, and then you'll start making some educated decisions once you find homes that are a good fit for you. Happy hunting. You'll find the right one soon.